Hi, and welcome to Overtime, the show that chronicles the Michigan Wolverines hockey team. With me, I'm Matt Engelberg, and with me, as always, is Amit Goyal. Amit,
hi, Matt.
Thanks for coming with us tonight. Well, Amit, it was an exciting series this weekend. There was a lot of things going on. We were coming into the playoffs.
Yes, last week the Michigan Wolverines had an exciting two-game series with Bowling Green State. Didn't really know what could happen between the Bowling Green team and the Michigan team. Michigan lost their second meeting with Bowling Green on Saturday, and this was after they just clinched the CCHA title. So which team would Michigan bring against the Western Michigan Broncos?
Well, that was certainly the question we were asking, and we found out an answer. Let's go to Friday's highlights. All right, here we started out with first goal. It was 0-0 earlier on in the first period. And what you're going to see right now is a shot by Lars Langfeld. He says, "Get in my belly." The Wolverines go ahead 1-0 right there. That was a great pass. That one came from Kosick and Matska. Here we go, already 1-0 in the first period. When J.J. Swistak does a little dance, puts it in for his third goal of the season. He was glad to get that one. Not usually on the scoring side of things, but this time he was. And all right, but that wasn't going to be all, because right now Mike Camilleri steals this puck. Look at that nifty steal. He's going to come in on a breakaway, take it in. He shoots, can't put it in. But look who's there. It's Mark Koch, and Mark Koch can't put it in. But guess who is there? It's Mike Mink puts it in there for his goal. That was a nifty one. It was a 3-on-0 there. There was nothing really the goalie Rymshaw could do to stop that one. The Wolverines take a 3-0 lead. But that wasn't all. Western wasn't going to roll over and die, because here comes Gagnon coming down with the puck. He's going to pass it off to David Gove. Right there. Gove's going to put a shot on net. He's going to score from, that one comes from Rimshaw. The Broncos put a goal on there, and now it's 3-1, and they're going to make a game out of this, it looks like. Here we go later in the period. Gove is going to pass it around, and it's going to be Byshot coming from Gagnon and Gove. It's 3-2 now. Wolverine fans getting a little bit worried about what was going on. Are the Wolverines collapsing here in the here in the third period? But here it is from Josh Langfeld and Jay Vancic. Scott Matska's going to put a goal in. That'll seal it. The Wolverines take it. They take it 4-2. Michigan goes ahead in the series after Friday's game. Josh Langfeld played great all the weekend, and he got his 9th goal of the game. All right, and now with me is our new reporter, John Rosen. John, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
John, you're going to hear to talk about Saturday's game. It was another interesting game, and why don't you take us through?
Well, first of all, what any coach will tell you going into the playoffs or the postseason, you really want to have a winning streak put together. All teams that end up winning it all are the teams that were very successful towards the end of the season into the playoffs. And although we did win on Friday night 4-2, we kind of got a little sloppy at the end, as the Broncos were able to get 2 third-period goals. So we really had a point to prove, and we got our point across. First of all, it was all 5-on-5 scoring on Friday night, yet on Saturday night something got into their bloodstream or something, and we put in 6 of 8, either on the power play or shorthanded. Scott Matska led the scoring with 2 goals and an assist. And Mike Comrie also put 2 into the net for the Wolverines. The second shorthanded goal by Matska in the second period was capped off an amazing turn of events in which Andy Hilbert lost his stick on the ice and still was able to hold off all the Western Michigan players and give it to Jeff Gilson, who sent it up to Matska and put it in. But it wasn't just an offensive attack for the Wolverines this week, and they really got some strong defense, especially by plus-minus leader Jay Vancic, who after a +4 performance on Friday night added another +2 to bring his plus-minus on the season up to about +30. And Jeff Gilson, as always, threw his weight around. And although the Broncos really tried to push at Michigan and turn this into a physical game, the Wolverines really responded. And Comrie got his swings in, and they even let Gassoff off to go do some damage late in the second game. But what really stuck in me this weekend was Captain Sean Peach, a show of emotion in his last game at Yost Ice Arena on Saturday after the handshake after the game. Peach hunched over, and you could really tell that, he's going to miss playing here, and this has done a lot of good stuff for him, this school. But hopefully they can build off the momentum here, and hopefully we'll have some success next weekend in Motown.
All right, I hope so too. Let's go to the Saturday scoreboard. As you can see, Wolverines ended up taking it 6-2. Michigan took the series 2-0, and the CCHA semifinal will be next Friday at 5 o'clock. Now, John, let's go to the after the whistle footage. Bring up what else, some extra points from Saturday's game if we can. There we go. The Michigan power play, 3 for 9, as you said, was excellent on Saturday. Wasn't that strong on Friday, but they came in on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Mike Comrie, 2 power play goals, and like you said, Scott Matska really turned in a good performance.
Yeah, right off the bat, we got 2 quick goals in the first period. We really showed them. We proved our point in the first period that you're not going to come into Yost Ice Arena and get lucky possibly. So we did a good job at doing that.
All right, so let's move on to the weekend's 3 stars if we can. There we go. We picked J.J. Swistek as our 3rd star. We're going to talk about a little bit later why we picked him, because he was so strong on the penalty kill, and the penalty kill was such a force in this weekend's game. Jay Vancic had to go with him for the 2nd star, +6 on the weekends. Like John mentioned, he was a strong defensive force, and defense wins games. But you got to go with Scott Matska. It's been playing so well all throughout the past few weeks, and he came through this weekend. 3 goals, 2 of those shorthanded, 2 assists. Amit, could Scott Matska have played any better this weekend?
Well, he just had a tremendous weekend, scoring both shorthanded goals, even strength, really got the clincher. It was very scary for Michigan when they were hanging on to that 3-2 victory. Broke it open in the 3rd period, scored a huge goal, made it 4-2, and really the Wolverines sealed it after that performance. And then he comes up on Saturday night, scores another 2 goals, so really couldn't ask for anything else out of Scott Matska. And this is really what the Wolverines need, players stepping up in the playoffs that didn't really score that much or that consistently in the regular season, but really have shown a big difference here in the playoffs. So just a tremendous performance by Scott Matska.
I really couldn't agree with you more. And the other name that has to come out, he didn't win a star, but Josh Langfeld came out on Friday night and played with so much emotion and so much heart. And Coach Berenson mentioned that he's really had a lot of trouble, scoring this year, but not in this weekend's game.
Yes, that's right. He got off on the right foot, scored the opening goal for the Wolverines, and it was really a force. That entire line, actually, centered by Mark Kosick with Scott Matska and Josh Langfeld, were absolutely brilliant this weekend, both on the penalty killing efforts and getting goals, for Michigan. So just a tremendous effort both by Josh Langfeld and Scott Matska, and Mark Kosick playing consistently well as usual. So
all right,
tremendous effort by them.
Now, just wrapping up this last piece, I just want to mention myself that it was so important. Scott Matska should be really proud because his line really came through, because Mike Comrie, Andy Hilbert, Jed Ortmeyer, we didn't really see them too much this weekend, and you can't play unbelievable every weekend. And when the top line isn't coming through as much as they usually do, it's important that the second line with players like Langfeld and Matska come through.
Sure. I mean, you can't, like you said, you can't expect your stars to come and perform out every single night. They were getting a lot more attention now. Western knows how easily that Andy Hilbert and Mike Comrie can score goals, so they're playing much more tighter defense around both of these players. So it's very not surprising that they didn't get on the boards as quickly as they did, but I'm sure as the playoffs continue, they'll be right back there scoring goals for Michigan.
And we sort of saw shades of that on Saturday. Towards the end of the game, the first line started coming through. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go to our WOLV trivia question, if we can, for tonight's game.
Well, all right, the question for tonight is, who did Michigan defeat in their win last year in the 1999 season to win the CCHA championship? Is it A, Notre Dame, B, Michigan State, C, Northern Michigan, or D, Ohio State? We'll have the answer for you right after this commercial break. Welcome back to Overtime. Let's take a look at our question of the week, our trivia question. The question is, who was the team that Michigan defeated last year in the 1999 CCHA playoffs to take the CCHA championship? Was it A, Notre Dame, B, Michigan State, C, Northern Michigan, or D, Ohio State? The answer, C, Northern Michigan. Northern Michigan having a great year this year, and obviously last year they were in the finals. Unfortunately lost to Michigan.
Unfortunately for them.
Yes, unfortunately for them, exactly. Recently, however, they've been struggling, losing the opening game this past weekend. And what seems to be the future of both of Northern Michigan and perhaps the other CCHA teams in their quest to get the CCHA championship?
Well, Northern was really rolling, and they seemed like they were going to be a real threat. They were in second place there for a little while. They came into the series with us, got away with 2 ties, and very much slumped from them. Didn't win this weekend. A big surprise from Northern Michigan. Let's go to the graphics of around the CCHA and see what happens in the rest of the weekend's playoff games. Well, we started out with Miami of Ohio playing at number 2 Michigan State. Really an uphill battle for Miami. Nobody expected them to do well, and they really didn't. Struggled on both games, losing on game 1 on Friday 6-2. On Saturday they lost 5-1. Michigan State took that series 2-0. No real problems for MSU there. Rolled throughout, played well on defense, offensive, and all around. And the big surprise from the weekend, number 8 Bowling Green defeating number 3 Lake Superior. That's a good one for the fans here at Michigan because we were actually worried about Lake Superior, weren't we, Anand?
That's right. If there's any team that Michigan has had trouble with in terms of seeds, really at the bottom of the CCHA, it's got to be Lake Superior State, defeating Michigan for the first time at home, twice, winning both games here in Ann Arbor. So Michigan fans have got to be very happy about the fact that Lake Superior State is out of the playoffs.
They took that first game 2-1 in overtime and 3-2 in the second game. All right, Nebraska-Omaha was the one giving Northern Michigan trouble. They won on Friday 4-2. Yesterday they handily were defeated, though. They lost 5-1. Northern was in a little bit of trouble. Actually, we're not be able to give you the finals in that game because it's going on right now as we speak. That series, as of yesterday, was tied 1-1. And from Ferris State and Notre Dame, that was also the most competitive. We figured that would be a competitive one. 2 strong teams there. Notre Dame winning 4-3 on Friday. Ferris taking it 6-1 on Saturday. That series is tied to tied. Is 1-1. So March 14th, Bowling Green is going to take on either Notre Dame, Ferris State, or Nebraska-Omaha, depending on which of those teams wins. The highest seed will be playing Bowling Green. So if it's Notre Dame, if they end up beating Ferris State, then they'll be taking on Bowling Green. Michigan's going to take on the winner of that game at Joe Salina in Detroit. That's 5 o'clock. Once again, Michigan will be playing the March 14th winner. It'll be Bowling Green or Notre Dame, Ferris State, or Nebraska-Omaha. Then at 8:30, Michigan State's going to be playing Northern Michigan, Notre Dame, or Ferris State because they're the second-seeded team. The CCHA finals are going to be Saturday at 7:30. Most people think, Amit, it's going to be Michigan State.
Yes, well, you can't blame them with the number 1 and number 2 seeds going at it. And it's a highly anticipated matchup, one of the biggest rivalries in sports. And I'm sure all of us Michigan fans would love the opportunity to take on Michigan State and show them that we definitely deserve the regular season CCHA title and now the playoff title.
I'll tell you why. It's going to be huge because Michigan's already lost in football and basketball. We're not going to want to lose it in hockey. All right, now it's time for our Monday night spotlight, a little bit of a change. This week, concentrating on another member of the Wolverines team. Let's bring up the spotlight, going to Andy Hilbert this week. Here's my interview.
Michigan Wolverines. Andy, first of all, let me say congratulations on being selected to the rookie team. It was a great accomplishment for you. You've had a lot of big accomplishments here. Another one was going to Sweden to play in USA in the junior championships. What do you think is attributed to your great success this season?
Just a lot of confidence and just working real hard this year. At the beginning of the year, I was struggling a little bit, and just been confidence and being able to get adjusted to the college game. And and so far it's worked out well for me.
Has the attention that you've been receiving because of your a lot of your big success affected your playing at all?
No, not really. I mean, it hasn't been a big deal, you know. I just take it in stride, don't think about it too much, and we have a job to do in playoffs and win national championships, so we're team-oriented here.
Are you enjoying your success there?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it. You always enjoy individual success, but I'm looking forward to the playoffs and looking forward to playing real well.
Now, people make a lot of comparisons between you and Mike Comrie. If Mike decides to go on and play the next level next year, God forbid, do you think you'd be ready to step in his position as center or his position of leadership on the team?
Yeah, definitely. If Mike decides to move on, I think I can hopefully help the team in the ways he does. He's a great leader. He's this unbelievable hockey player, but hopefully he'll stick around for a few more years.
All right, well, now the team is on a roll, to say the least. We've been doing real well in recent games, as you have. What do you see as the biggest challenge ahead?
Just knowing what we have to do and knowing how we have to sacrifice as a team and not do any individual things, and realizing that we have a great team here and we can accomplish a lot if we put our minds to it.
Another thing that people have been commenting about the team is that they play so well together, and the chemistry between you guys has really been hot this season. Do you think the team's relationship between each other, like, are you guys friends with each other? Do you get along real well?
Oh yeah, our team has a lot of chemistry together. Everyone likes everyone. There's no separation between classes. We're all one big family, and we play real well together, and we just love being around each other, and it's been great so far this year.
Now, being on a team where everyone seems to be such close friends with each other, what would that mean to win a championship with players like these guys?
It'd be an unreal feeling, you know, winning with the people that you like the most, and they're your family, you know. I mean, we've gone through a lot together, and just to win a national championship would just be a great thing.
All right, Andy, thanks for joining us. Good luck to you, sir.
Yep, thanks.
All right, so there we heard the word from the mouth from Andy Hilbert. Now, that really was him. It was a little dark, but that was Andy. He's played so well this season. He really came in as a freshman. He reminds me a lot of Mike Comrie.
Well, I mean, their styles are very similar, obviously playing on the same line. Hilbert is a pure goal scorer, second on the team. As a freshman, that's outstanding. Has a tremendous amount of speed. I really think that's one of his greatest strengths. And, you know, the best part, I mean, as a pure goal scorer, he knows to wait, just as you see there, waits for the perfect moment and can score goals at will. And he's going to be a great asset to this Wolverine hockey team for years to come if hopefully he decides to stay here for 4 years.
Yep, there's the stats that you're looking at. 17 goals this season, 16 assists, 33 points. Some accomplishments of his right there. He won he was selected to the 1999 All-USA team, went to play in Sweden, and he was recently elected the CCHA All-Rookie team, so certainly a good season there from Andy Hilbert.
Yeah, you couldn't really ask for anything more. Hopefully he can continue a strong play into the playoffs for Michigan.
All right, so that'll do it for the Monday Night Spotlight. We're going to take another break, but when we come back, find out what were the reasons why the Wolverines won this weekend. You'll find out that, and you'll take a look at next week's possible series and maybe who will play. That's all coming up and coming at you right here on Overtime. Stay with us. All right, welcome back to Overtime. Now, Amit, this is what happened this weekend. The special teams was I thought was very well played for the the Wolverines on penalty kill. The penalty kill was, in my opinion, the main reason why we won on Friday. We didn't let them score at all on the penalty kill. You're taking a look at some penalty kill from Friday's game. It just went very well. Langfeld, Swistak all came in through. What'd you think?
Well, yeah, like you were saying, it's been a tremendous amount of hard work by this Wolverine hockey team to get a good penalty killing unit out there. And I really think they've found two key players in J.J. Swistak and Bill Traynor offensively for the penalty killing. Also, Scott Matzigan now with his offensive production on the shorthanded side. So just Michigan has been very fortunate, especially this series, did not allow a single power play goal. David Gove is one of the top power play goal scorers in the league. They shut him down, did an excellent job the entire weekend. And this is really what the Wolverines need to win championships. They need strong play from their special teams. The penalty killing was great, I think a great showing of what's to come for the Michigan team. If they can keep doing this, they'll be very successful. And if they can continue on the power play, that'd be even a more tremendous help.
See, now that's where I found some fault with the Wolverines this weekend. Only went 3 for 9 on the power play against a team that's not bad statistics, but it's a team that isn't that strong. We scored 7 goals last time against Western, 9 goals also on Saturday's game last time we played Western. Had a lot of trouble with the power play on Friday. Okay on Saturday. I think it was pretty much after Western had sort of let up their guard. Do you think this is going to be a potential problem in the future?
I don't think so. I think the Michigan team, they're trying some new things out. For the first time, not for the first time, but they've recently started putting 5 forwards out on the power play, mixing it up a little bit. But regardless, I think that Coach Red Berenson knows what he's doing. Michigan traditionally has had one of the best power play units in the league, and it was against Western Michigan. They got off to a little bit of a slow start, but I think it's going to still pick up. 3 for 9 is tremendous efforts on the power play, so I think they're right where they want to be in terms of their special teams.
Now let's talk about the 5 forwards. It's a strategy that Coach Berenson has employed recently. Not many NHL teams use 5 forwards. There aren't too many other teams around the CCHA specifically that use 5 forwards. I'm not so sure I like it. I like going with 4 forwards and Jeff Gilson, because there you got a guy who's great on the defense and really, really good on the offensive. And with Gilson out there, he's got both sides of the spectrum. I don't understand why he keeps Gilson off of the power play.
Well, Gilson has been incredible once again. He's been on the ice for 57% of Michigan's power play goals, really quarterbacking that unit tremendously. At the same time, though, I can understand why Coach Berenson wants 5 forwards out there. The Michigan's so talented with guys like Mike Camilleri, Jed Ortmeyer, people who aren't even the biggest stars for Michigan, who can really just put the puck in the net. I can't see why they wouldn't want to have those guys out there when they have a man advantage. So both systems, I think, are great and are really going to help Michigan in the long run.
Now, it seems to me that the J.J. Swistak is on the penalty kill as Mike Camilleri is on the power play. Every time we see Mike Camilleri out there on the power play, I'm not quite sure why he's out there. Is it his speed? What is the reasons why he's out there all the time?
Well, both players, I guess, are role players. I mean, J.J. Swistak is primarily used on the penalty killing unit, and he's just tremendous at blocking shots, forcing players to the outside of the ice. At the same time, Mike Camilleri, I think he's a great all-around player as well. Specifically, though, he can really put the puck in the net. He's a tremendous stick handler and has a lot of speed. So I can see why he wants Mike Camilleri out there for the power plays and J.J. Swistak penalty killing.
All right, now, Amit, I think you have something to show us. You're going to show us the season leaders for the year. Since it's the end of the regular season now, let's bring up that graphic, can we?
Yes, this year, the leaders for Michigan. Obviously, we've talked a lot this year about Mike Comrie. He ended up winning the point-scoring title for the team with 53 points. He also led in goals and assists, 20 goals and 33 assists. Mark Kosick, tremendous on the power play, had 9 power play goals. Shorthanded efforts by Scott Matzinger, unbelievable, 6 goals, 2 of them coming this weekend. The penalty minutes, Jeff Gilson led the team in penalties, 118 minutes. And the plus-minus category, which really surprised me, but Jay Vancic won that category with a plus 29 rating. You know, not saying that he's not a great player or anything, but just really surprised me that he was on the ice for that many goals. He's kind of quiet, goes around his business, gets the job done, and it's really reflected there, I think, in the plus 29 rating.
I agree. It surprised me a large amount too, and it's really because he is a sort of a quiet player. He doesn't throw too many big hits. He doesn't really score that many goals, but he is a factor on defense. Obviously, we really haven't talked about him too much, but he is there. Another guy who had a high on the plus rankings was Dave Hunsinger. We didn't talk about him mostly at all this season. But
yeah.
Hunsinger is a really good player, I think.
Sure. I mean, obviously, since Sean Peach is the captain and Jeff Gilson is an All-American candidate and potential Hobie Baker winner, guys like Jay Vancic and Dave Hunsinger, who are excellent defensemen, kind of get lost, in the shuffle. So it just tells you how deep this Michigan team is and what a great chance we have in this NCAA tournament coming up. So.
All right, speaking of the NCAA tournament, let's look ahead now what's going on. Next week, we're not going to be at Yost anymore. We're gone for Yost for the year. We're going to be playing at the Joe, and from then on, we're going to move on to Minnesota for the Western Finals, and then hopefully into Rhode Island for the Frozen Four if we can. What's your outlook on the rest of the year?
Well, there's still a lot of hockey to be played. CCHA playoffs, anything can happen. Michigan State's a solid team. I think that's probably our biggest rivalry in the short run. And really, there's just a tremendous amount of teams in the East Coast. Any teams such as New Hampshire, Maine, Boston College, Boston University, all having great seasons. So NCAA tournament is kind of hard to predict. CCHA looks like we have a strong chance.
All right, so we'll have to see whether or not Michigan is going to be there at the Frozen Four. There are several good teams all around the league. Hockey East, another great division this year, probably the second to the CCHA, in my opinion, divisions. All right, so we talked about next week, and we only have about 1 minute left on it. We're going to be here next week, so don't forget to join us then for next week's Overtime. We're going to talk about the Michigan State game that's coming up this Friday.
Yes, next week on Monday you can catch us at 10:30 on Channel 70, and on Friday at 10 o'clock on Channel 22, where we'll be giving you full CCHA playoff coverage. Special and new addition to the show, Coach's Corner. Coach Red Berenson, we'll have a special interview with him. Look forward to having you for that. Also, Sean Peach will be on with an interview, so just want you to catch that. And finally, reminding you to email us. You can email us at wolv.hockey@umich.edu. So hopefully we'll be hearing from you next week, and if you get the chance, please join us. We'll have a great show, and hopefully Michigan will be successful. We'll have a lot of great stories to tell you.
All right, so that'll do us for this week's of Overtime. Ahmed, thanks for being here. Join us next week. You heard the times. Go Wolverines.